Okay, so let's have a look at the bass line. I'm just going to ease this in here. Going to mute the strings and pads, etc. Okay, this is gelling pretty nicely, but let's go ahead and put a side chain on just to give it a little bit of extra separation from the kick drum. So we'll assign the side chain channel. We'll bring down the gain a bit, bring down the attack a bit, crank up the ratio, and bring the threshold down. And let's pump up the gain a bit. Okay, that sounds pretty good. We don't want it to be ducking too much or sound over compressed, so I think this is sitting about right. Let's hear it with the pads and everything. It's a bit loud. I might turn up the pad up a bit, just a hair. Okay, that to me is sounding pretty good. The other thing I'm going to try here is basically to run all the rhythm sections, so all the drums and the bass, into another group or another channel, and we'll have a look at the EQ, maybe put a little bit of compression and a little bit of reverb on the whole thing, just to kind of glue it all together nicely, so to speak. So let's have a listen. Open up the EQ. You can see here there's not too much in the mid-range happening, so I'm going to bump up the highs and the mids just by dragging this node up. Yeah, that seems to give it just a little bit more sheen to it. Let's put a compressor on here. I'm going to turn the gain down to 0, move the threshold up. The attack will keep it fairly open, and same with the release. And let's bring the ratio up a little bit, maybe 4:1. Let's see how this sounds anyways. Now that's obviously way too much, so let's ease that back until it sounds decent. Let's just hear how that sounds with the rest of it. Okay, I think that's sounding pretty decent. So let's have a look at some of the other parts we have left. We've got the flute and the effects and the string and a couple of other bits. So let's get those going. And first, I'm going to unmute this melodic bongo part, and then we'll go into the arrange page and just have a quick look. Okay, so let's go to 97 here, and let's just take a listen to this string coming in. I think I'm going to take off some of the top using the cutoff here. Let's try a bit of drive on it. Okay, we'll pull the volume down. Sorry, wrong one. Okay, that's sounding okay. I think at this point, I'm gonna add a big reverb on bus 10. Let's call it big verb. Oh, sorry, that's the wrong channel here. Let's name this while we're here. Drums and bass. And this one we will call big verb. And let's get a big reverb out. So I'm going to go into large spaces. Let's see what we've got here. Well, let's just go for a really big one. Stairs mid-level. Let's try it out. Some of this old school deep house stuff is just kind of dripping in reverb, so we should add some of that to our track here. Let's hear how that sounds. Yep, that's sounding okay. It's quite a long tail on it, but if it sounds good in the mix, that's okay. I might actually try some of this long reverb on the piano and pads as well. A lot of this old school deep house stuff has a lot of reverb on it, so let's just see how some of it sounds. So we'll open up our big verb here. Yeah, we'll use a little bit on there, why not? And let's loop around 113 to 129 where the pianos and everything start again, and let's see if the pianos need any reverb. I think I may have taken a little bit too much cutoff off this piano. Yeah, that's better. Yeah, a little bit of reverb on them sounds good. Let's try it on the electric piano as well. Yep, that sounds pretty good as well. Okay, everything's sounding pretty good. The other thing we were going to do on the drums while I think about this is we were going to put a little small reverb on this. Let's give it a try and see what it sounds like. I'm going to open up a new bus and put small reverb on there, and let's open up our space designer and we'll just get just a small wet room. And let's hear what it sounds like. I'm just going to turn off that melodic bongo. It's very, very subtle, but it does give it a little bit of space, so I think I'm going to leave it. Might actually put a little bit extra on this hat. We can try it on the shaker too, so let's zoom over to 129. Go back to our mixer. Let's see what a little bit of reverb on this sounds like. Yeah, that sounds pretty good. Okay, I think we've got everything going except basically the flute and the effects here. So let's have a listen to the flute. That starts at 169 in the break, and let's see how this is sounding. Just gonna mute this string for a second, and the melodic bongo. I'm just gonna take a look at another flute sound. No. I think we'll stick with the original. Let's just take a look in our library here. That's the one. It was flute staccato. Okay. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to reset this channel EQ. I really want that breathiness to come out, so I'm going to raise the high. Something like that. It's quite a boost, but I really want to hear that breathy stuff. And I'm going to try putting some of this big reverb on there as well. Let's hear what that sounds like. Let's hear what that sounds like in the track. Okay, it's coming along. I think another thing we're going to try doing here is putting the direction mixer on it, and I'll put that before the space design. Let's just bring it in a bit. Put the volume up a bit. Okay, let's try a little bit of delay on it. Probably fourth note, I'm guessing. Just very, very subtle. Okay, I think that sounds pretty good. Let's take a listen to it with the rest of the track. I pan it a little bit over to the right a bit. Okay, sounding pretty good. Yep, it's coming along. And let's bring this crash up a little bit. Try the reverse crash as well. I'm going to turn this up a little bit more. One more time, we'll listen to it. Okay, and let's try this white noise. I might try and put a sample delay on here to give this a little bit of stereo width. Let's take a listen. Yeah, you can hear the difference. Let's see if it sounds okay in the mix. Bit loud, but okay, I think it's sounding pretty good. In the next video we'll have one final run through it and then we'll bounce it down.